In ordinary course, Hindenburg report would have not made as much ripple or as much cyclone as you may call as it made. That we got support from unexpected quarters. That is politicians, NGOs, and everything. Now, in normal course, NGOs have no business to talk about stock market. There was a perception created that Adani is close to present government. I don't know truth or not. It could be very true that he is very close. He's not close. But again, I would say every business has to work hand in hand with the present government. See, is it not? It is not a case that the government has come and business has started prospering in 2014 only. Till 2014, so many business houses have been there successful and very, very successful. Do you mean to say that there was a total adversarial relationship between government and business? No.
As a regulator, let me talk to you about one thing which has been in the headlines for the last 5 months. And it was January 24th when the Hindenburg report came out. And we all saw what happened in the Adani stocks after that. As a regulator, I mean, considering the Supreme Court appointed committee which probed some of the allegations made in the Hindenburg report and submitted it last week, and the outcome is that the committee could not find evidence of malpractices, wrongdoing on part of the group. So, what do you think we can do in future to make sure that such a thing does not happen? Because at the end of the day, all that happened was investors lost billions of dollars of their hard-earned money.
The problem is different. I may write 100 reports on 100 companies, 100 people denouncing them. I need to have followers who would follow me and blindly act on my advice.
Right.
Okay. In ordinary course, Hindenburg report would have not made as much ripple or as much cyclone as you may call as it made. Normal course, the
Why
report
did it?
would.
Why did it do that, sir?
I'll tell you. The report would have come, read by 10 people, 20 people, and it would have made an impact in the market price, but it would have settled normally. Normalcy would have come in a week, 10 days, 15 days time. What has happened that we got support from unexpected quarters. That is politicians, NGOs, and everything. Now, in normal course, NGOs have no business to talk about stock market, and politicians must do politics. What has happened? It gave a fillip to the Hindenburg intention because the two sides were seen as adversary government versus all others. Because there was a perception created that Adani is close to present government. I don't know truth or not. It could be very true that he is very close, he's not close. But again, I would say every business has to work hand in hand with the present government. See, is it not? It is not a case that the government has come and business has started prospering in 2014 only. Till 2014, so many business houses have been there successful and very, very successful. Do you mean to say that there was a total adversarial relationship between government and business? No. Government
Right.
and business, because they have to work in tandem for the same objective of making the country good. The problem comes when a businessman misutilizes the government to benefit, and government benefits a person, a company. So rather than targeting the entire block, you guys must understand that if any deal is bad, let us explore that deal, investigate that deal, and find out. Rather than putting everything in black and saying that Adani, Ambani, everything. No, Ambani and Adani put together must have given employment to 20 lakh people minimum, and 20 lakh people directly plus 20, 40 lakhs indirectly. So what are you talking? You are talking of disturbing 2, 3 crore families. The second most important thing which was there, that politicians started saying State Bank डूब जाएगा, LIC डूब जाएगी. Now understand, State Bank has got 10 crore customers. Now, what are you hinting at 10 crore customers that their money will be lost? And those 10 crore customers are not voter of BJP or Shiv Sena or something. They are voter of all political parties combined. Similarly, LIC, they are having the largest policy holder in the world. Now, where do they go? So you create a atmosphere of fear. Now, atmosphere of fear, then everybody thought that, look, now Adani will be in trouble because of all this negative sentiments. So shareholders started negatively reacting negatively, and that is where it is. What was the intention of political parties or people who were NGOs and things? Their intention was to bring the truth. Their intention should not have been to cause harm to Adani or Adani shareholders. And maybe if you have wanted to cause harm to Adani, please cause harm to Adani alone. But don't cause harm to all the stakeholders of the system. So that is where the problem happened. Now, with the Supreme Court committee report coming, some
Before
sort
we
of,
before we discuss that report, sir, quickly,
yeah,
I want to ask another question based on what you just told us. Something that could be done to perhaps stop this kind of, I mean, at one point in time, Adani Group uh, losses had crossed the $150 billion mark.
absolutely no. A
Okay,
regulator cannot do any intervention in the market to arrest falling prices of one company or a group of companies.
right,
It can only act in case there is a market-wide problem, which happened after 2004 elections and 2009 elections, something like this, where the
right,
market was in, and 2008 when the financial crisis came. So where the market-wide circuit filter up point and break recommend the market is shut. But
right.
that instances are extremely rare in India compared to anywhere else in the world. So that shows maturity, integrity, and our risk management system of the Indian markets. So that is there, and I would never recommend, because regulator cannot sit on judgment whether the report is right or wrong. So it will never ever say, it will only say that bring transparency and disclosure. Let investors take their own risk. The only thing that happens that if there is a malified report which is wrong, then action can be initiated by regulator under SEBI Act, as well as prevention of fraudulent and unfair trade practice, if it follows that or if it fits into that.
But these people are sitting outside India,
Yes, so that's right. So Hindenburg, but Hindenburg is, I am not against Hindenburg at all.
right?
Hindenburg
Of
had an
course,
agenda. They said transparently that we want to make money, and these are my allegations.
right.
It is me who has to use this judgment whether to believe Hindenburg or not, because Hindenburg has agenda. In normal life, if somebody comes to you and gives an advice that buy this product, it is very good. The moment I tell you that buy this product is it good, you will always doubt me that what is my intention when I am selling this product to you. And if you find that my brother is the manufacturer of that product, you will say I'm an interested party and you will not believe me. In Hindenburg case, it was transparently told that I'm an interested party, but people believed them. The second thing is that there is nothing in Hindenburg report which was not in public domain.
Right.
Everything was in public domain. It was only a chronicle of events which were happening from 2005 onwards.
So
And
your advice, perhaps, to the investors would be: see, but don't believe until you have verified it. And before I interfered with a question, before I asked you another question, you were going to talk about the Supreme Court report,
yeah, I'm not talking about Supreme Court. What I'm saying is this: there is a lot of confusion in the minds of people.
right?
People said Supreme Court committee has not done, it was a toothless committee. Now, Supreme Court committee was not going to do any forensic examination, or it was not a super investigator above SEBI. What SEBI Supreme Court committee was doing, that they got to interact with SEBI and ensure that whatever SEBI has been doing in past and currently, there is no malafide and there is no failure in SEBI's end. They have very clearly found that no failure. Now, if SEBI says that there is no price rigging or no price manipulation, should SEB committee say, no, we don't believe you, we will create our own database and go? what they will do if SEBI surveillance system, which is such a robust system, is unable to find a price manipulation and which has been confirmed, can committee do this? So it is always easy. The problem in our country is that I start with a notion and I want you to conform to that notion. If you don't conform to that notion, I criticize that Abhishek, you are incompetent, you are malapide, you are compromised, something like this. But if by chance you give me the same report which I wanted, I will say, Abhishek, you must get a Nobel Prize for this work. So this
Right.
is the problem in this country. We don't view anything objectively. Now, coming back to very important aspect, Supreme Court committee has only done the fact finding based on what was the data available with SEBI, what
SEBI.
are the regulations, and they have mapped the regulation with the disclosure. Now, the problem is that in the related party regulations have gone a change which is from zero to hero situation. Now, if you say that in 2016 Adani did not disclose something which is required to be disclosed as per 2022, you can't do anything. The other important factor is that we as a governance can question ethical issue. We can say that your compliance is only in letter, not in spirit. SEBI or Supreme Court can only make a passing comment, but they cannot penalize anybody because the compliance has been done as per the law. But I want something more and I will jail you for 2 years. So I can't do that. A judge cannot do that. So that is the
Right.
big gap between what is perception and something. The third and most important thing, which is I think all Supreme Court must take into account, that mere suspicion cannot lead to conviction is a settled law.
Right.
But I'm saying even if a suspicion is there, how long the sword of suspicion should be hanging on my neck? Either it should fall within a period T or it should be withdrawn within a period T. This uncertainty is the biggest damage to the investors. Settle this way or that way. Otherwise, what
True.
happens? I, as an investor, will be coming in a panic mode and say, oh, this is the problem, let me sell it. But tomorrow that nothing is found and I regret that, oh, I should have held on it. Now imagine a situation, somebody would have sold Adani stock. I think Adani Enterprises went down up to 1100, 1200 rupees. And now
Right.
it is back to 2000 something. So somebody who would have sold in panic at 1100 would be
Double their
regretting
money.
at 2500. So
Yes.
who will take care of such investors? So my issue is that please decide everything fast. And again, very important message for the lawmakers and the law thing. A financial problem is a very difficult issue. In a crime, say for example murder, I know my victim, I know the circumstances. In a financial problem, I never know who is my victim, what are his circumstances. Somebody could have invested, deposited money for marriage of his daughter or something like this, and the money would have been lost. He would be sulking in what he is going to do. So, financial issues, financial cases must be decided as soon as possible.
Briefly, then, sir, what are some of the key lessons, key takeaways for policymakers in this case and regulators from this entire Adani Hindenburg fiasco?
See, I am no one to suggest anything to regulator or judiciary, but I would say,
But as somebody who's been part of,
yeah.
the yes,
I would say the first and foremost is that the decision making should be fast. Now, say for example, Supreme Court, the matter will be heard in 14th of August now. So
exactly.
I wish that on 14th of August, maximum within week or 10 days, Supreme Court should either shut this case one way or other. Okay, that is one. The second thing is this investor education is probably the most important aspect. And I will give a very simple example. If you have been to any vegetable market, you will see that when a person buys a bhindi or whatever vegetable it is, they are so cautious. They will pick each and every bhindi and see whether it is straight or something like this. But same thing they don't do when they do investment. When they buy shares or when they sell shares or whether they enter into options and future state, they do not do that. Whereas bhindi is a very temporary thing and investment is a very long term. So investor education and being conscious is very, very important. And another important aspect is this: please understand, if your own brother, mother will not give you unlimited money for free, then how can advisors who are advising on YouTube or something are making you happy and letting you make money? That is the question I always ask. Nobody is going to give you money free. So whenever somebody advises you on YouTube, buy this, sell this, they have an agenda, and be cautious.
Right. SEBI, in fact, recently fined some influencers. But on that note, I mean, we talked about a lot of things. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for talking to us, Mr. Gupta.